Hey everybody, David R. Becker here with Becker Art. My newsletter today is going to be about putting aside the myth and actually breaking the myth that watercolor is the hardest medium and it's always so complicated and that you cannot fix things. You definitely can. And let me just show you right off the bat that how I fix things. So let's just say we have a painting like this and I just decided, I looked at it and I just like things about it. And normally what people say is that, oh, I can't go back into a wash and make it look good. Well, you can. And you don't want to, but, you can. You can do that. So let me just show you. Let's say, for instance, we did this painting. This is a painting I do for all my beginner students who come in where we don't have a picture and we just make this up, this painting. And I'm just going to show you. Let's say, for instance, maybe we don't like these leaves. Maybe we don't like this sky. Maybe we don't like the trees that we had gotten finished. We say you can't erase things, and that is baloney. Because you can just, like anything else in watercolor and in acrylics and oils, with oils and acrylics you go over it, right? But with watercolor, there's a certain way of doing it so that you get rid of this medium, the pigment, and because you don't want to put a pigment on top of pigment because it's laying there and it's transparent. So if I'm going to do something for these leaves or these trees or the sky, I have to get rid, first I got to get rid of this pigment that's on this paper. And how do you do that? Well, it's not like acrylic or oils that dries hard or needs oil to take it off the page. That, like oils, dries long, so you can just scrape it off and try again. With watercolor, you can re-wet it and it rejuvenates it, and it basically comes right off the paper. Some papers that soak in or that you stain, yes, that's a little bit more difficult, but that doesn't mean you cannot go over it again and make it look fresh. So let me just take, for instance, these trees. Let's say, and I know everybody's going to be saying, oh, this paint looks fine. Well, it's not about that. It's about what if I want to change things? What if if I don't like what I have here? And so what I would do first off is I would just wet the surface, take my big brush, and I'm going to take and loosen up the paint because I need to take it off because I want to redo the sky too. So I'm going to take this off. And this is on 140-pound paper, which also people say, well, it's 140, it's real thick. You're going to go right through the paper because it's too thin. No, I'm just wetting it, and I'm not scrubbing it. The thing that you have to watch out for is scrubber. Like, don't scrub the paper to a point where you're wrecking the paper. The paper is 100% cotton, and it's good paper, so you can go back over things. And you just need to get rid of some of this pigment. And now when I do this, I'm going to rub this together. And I'm not scrubbing, I'm just letting the water sit there, and I'm putting it in there. And sometimes you can do this underneath the sink faucet if you want to get, and I did use opaques in here, so even those opaques are coming off. I did some light opaque colors, meaning that I used it thick with white paint, and so that was more of a gouache technique on top of that. And so even with gouache, I can take this off of here. I'm just wetting it and I'm just letting it soak a little bit and loosening up the paint, because if it's going to be hard to get to the white of the paper again, but that doesn't mean I can't use white in my paint the next time to make it a little bit lighter, because maybe it stained the paper. And this painting was done like about a month ago, so it still works even if after a while you decide you don't want to do something to it, or if you want to do something to the paper. Now I take my paper towel and I just dab up some of the paint, as much of the paint as I can. So all those really dark darks now are stained into the paper and are not going to be coming out. They'll be staying light like that, but they were as dark as these pine trees, right? And so that is getting rid of the pigment. I'll put pigment on top of that to get rid of the ugly looking part of it. And so also I'm just taking taking my cloth and see how its pigment's going into the cloth. And so I'm just dabbing down. I'm not scrubbing. I'm not rubbing. I'm just trying to eliminate the paint that's already down and trying to get it out of the paper. So if you're using like an Arches, this is Stonehenge Aqua by Legion, and it doesn't soak in as much as a paper like Arches does. Because Arches soaks in a lot, and it's harder to get that back out again. And so again, I'm going to do that for the rest of the sky too. And look, there's no, I just took rid of the pigment. The pigment's gone, and so now I'm going to go and also use clean water when you're doing this. And you can also do this under a sink, under a faucet. You can just take it and wet it. Now, it probably works better on a thicker paper, but this is 140 pound and it still works on this too. Now don't scrub it to try to get it back to the white, because then you're not going to get back to white because it's stained. It was in there for a while, and so that's going to stain it, and so that you kind of can't take off. But I'm just getting it so that it's nice even surface, and the pigment that's in the paper is way down into the paper now. It's not on the surface. So I'm just getting the paint that's on the surface. And you can do this with anything. I could do this with this tree. I could do it with the mountains back there. But I just want to redo the sky. Let's just say I want to redo the sky, and I want to do these branches. And I decided that I want to make these like fall colors. I want to make it maybe orange and stuff. And the sky, maybe I want to make it a little bit darker. You can also make it lighter. You'd have to add white, and you have to use your gouache like a watercolor though, because gouache covers, and so you can always cover it up, even though it will look like it's transparent, but because you use white, it'll make it opaque. Okay, so now I'm going to re-wet the whole surface, because now I got rid of all the paint that I think was resting there, and now I'm going to go back in like it's a first wash, like the first wash I've ever done on this paper. Like I didn't get enough of this paint off. So yeah, I'm using this paint because it didn't get off. I'm just going to dab that paint up into my towel. I'm just going to dab that up. And so this is like a last resort, and then because you didn't get something in your paper, or otherwise you're going to throw it away, or it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. And this is a good way to practice too, to do a certain kind of technique. If you don't like a painting, and you just go back in. And so now let me just clean my palette off here a little bit. Didn't do that before I got it in here. So I'm going to go in with maybe more of a, let's go with a blue. Let's see, maybe more gray blue. I don't know, let's see. We're just going to go for blue. And let's go back in and just let this float on top. Let's say we don't want clouds. Maybe we don't want clouds in there. So look at how, if I put enough paint on my brush, and then go again into the surface and let it float. And if this was 300 pound, it wouldn't bow as much as it's bowing right now, but that's okay. It can bow because it's not taped down, so it's not gonna buckle. It's just gonna do a slight curve to it. And so then I'm putting a nice color in here. And I can go right up, let's say I want to go over to the trees, I can do that. Maybe I want to make this all a little bit darker. And see, I'm wetting it, and then I'm floating my pigment like I would do like in the very first wash of a painting. And if I use enough paint, it will also cover up. But look at how I got rid of that cloud. And you cannot see that it is not the first time I did this. Like this is probably the third wash on that sky, because I rubbed out the sky, right? I rubbed out the cloud, and I put it over that because now this is wet on wet. And I can make it a little bit darker maybe over here. And the pigment is transparent, but the more pigment you put on, it will flow together and make a soft edge. And if I felt like now all of a sudden I decided, you know what, I really would still like to have those clouds in there, and make it look fresh. Well, I can still do that by using white. I have to use an opaque white. Here I have opaque white, and it's probably good to have squeeze out fresh, or use the bottled white, the jar that I sometimes use for proof. What is this called? The bleed proof white. I can also put that in there, but I'm going to water it down a lot so that it's going to float into the surface. So let's say I want to get these back again. And yeah, I know it was there, but I just want to show you that people say that you can't change things, and yes, you can. So look at this. I can just go back in here, and I can just float the really light white, and it's going to give me a soft edge, but I can only do the white like this and make it look transparent if I do wet into wet. And so there I have another cloud again, right? So it's a cloud done with white instead of the white of the paper. Now, the white of the paper usually looks better, but this doesn't look bad. And like I said, a lot of times people think, well, you can't do this. Well, yes, you can. See, I just did it. And I can also put little darker colors underneath the mountain. As long as it's floating, as long as the pigment floats on the surface and gives you a soft edge. And also this is more, that's opaque right there a little bit, but it's still a little bit transparent because I'm using it wet into wet. So there was a whole sky that was I totally got rid of it, and now I'm putting it back, and now the sky is a little bit different color blue. It's still soft edged. I can put some white down. No, let's not put some white down there. So let's say for that. Now let's say we want to get our white birch trees back, because like I messed up this part right here. I'm just going to rub this part with my brush, and there's many different things you can rub with. You can. The first thing I did was just I didn't rub. I just blotted with paper towel. Now they have things called these magic erasers. They're great for taking your paint back out of the. What I do is I wet them, and you can. This is what I use for stencils when I want to get back to the white of the paper. I just rub this along the paper, and this will damage the paper because now you're adding something that's going to be a little bit tougher on the paper. So, but watch this. I'm just going to rub, and look at how I can get my light back. I'm just taking and rubbing it, and it's going into the surface. Now my paper just pelled. It's wrecking the paper, but if you're doing thick enough paper, it's not going to go through the paper. It's just getting rid of that pigment and getting you a little bit back of the white, right? And this will still look fresh when you're done. That's the part that we always think that you can't do that because it's not going to look fresh, but you can make it look fresh. It's just the fact that you have to use more pigment than later and cover up what you had done sometimes. Like this white is white again, and then let's say again, if I felt like I didn't get the white back enough, I would take a small brush, and again I would put white while it's wet. I would put white back into the surface. See, that's a white paint, but I float it into the surface of water. I don't put it on thick like an oil or acrylic. I put it on with opacity so that it doesn't show through. But I float it to get a soft edge, and it will look like the paper again. It will look like I used the paper white. But this is something you don't want to do for certain watercolor societies because they don't accept opaques, and this is opaque watercolor. This is an opaque paint that I'm using right now. This is this Dr. Martin's bleed-proof white. So look at that. I made it white again, right? Now I would wait till this dries, and you can also pull out again. I can pull out these colors with my brush by taking a damp brush, and look at it. I'm just pulling out the color. My brush is damp, and I'm just pulling out the pigment off the page. And so I'm redoing the entire sky and those trees right there, and where people told me all the time that no, you cannot do that. Well, I'm doing it right now. And it doesn't look very hard, right? Because you're basically wetting everything and making it all work wet into wet. And that's one of the reasons I try to teach my students how to work wet into wet and control that pigment and also take the pigment out. You can rub out. Rubbing out is another technique used in watercolor that you can do. Like I can rub this back out again, and I'm not really rubbing, I'm just letting the paint go back into my brush. I'm absorbing it into my brush that I put into a paper towel. I get rid of all the water, and I kind of clean it out. I keep it a little damp so that it can run back into the brush. So that's just running back into the brush. And then when this dries, then I can put the hard edges in. I can do the branches. I can do the leaves, which were hard edged, right? And so to get hard edges, you have to wait for it to dry. I can also go in now, and if I felt like I wanted to do the orange instead of the leaves that have a green, I'll go in there with let's go in there with kind of an orangey red, like a burnt sienna type of color. And I can plop it into the water here, and I let it, now this is still wet, right? So I can go in there, and I can just let it go a certain distance with the amount of pigment you have on your brush. The thicker the pigment, the more of a line you're going to keep. But this is, again, I'm changing totally from a dark green now to an orange. And again, I could do this while it's dry. I'm doing it while it's wet because I want soft edges. I can also do it, let this totally dry, and go in there and get my hard edges. But this is just to explain to you that you can go back in and look at. I'm going with a color that's transparent, but if I use it thick enough, and this is a light red called, and I can use some orange here, and the thicker it is, the more it'll be opaque. But again, I'm putting it into a wet wash, so it'll give me a soft edge, so it's floating on top. It will mix in with the blue a little bit, but that's fine. I have no problem with that. And then these are the soft edges, and then when this dries, I'll put in some hard edges, and I can just change the whole value and colors of this whole area here. Go on top of it a little bit here, some of the leaves in front. And then what I could do too is to put the light leaves in front, I would use white. Again, I'm using white. And sometimes that's what you have to do if you did make a mistake and you're going back in on top of a dark, you would have to use a light color, an opaque color. And then I can do that. And now again, I'm doing it while it's wet, so it's going to be a soft edge. But it will not look overworked. It will not look like you made a mistake. It'll look like this is a technique that you're using wet into wet. And then when this dries, I'll get my hard edges. And see, I'm just going in there with like more of a golden leaf instead of, and yeah, maybe that's not the exact right color, but that's not the point. The point is that you can do things after you're done. And those times people that say you can't, well, here's to prove that you can. You can go back in and redo the whole painting again. I could take this whole painting, wash it off, and start again. Now, if I need to get lighter in some spots where I lost the white of the paper, well, then I have to use white paint to get it back like the clouds. If I were to do a darker area, well, that's no big problem at all. Doing darker is just right on top of the parts that you wiped out. All right, so look at how that sky doesn't look washed out. It doesn't look where it looks bad. It looks like I meant it to be this way. And yes, maybe they're not what you wanted from the very beginning of the painting, but this is a way where people say that you cannot do this, then yes, you can. And you just definitely have to use some opaque colors, some opaque in watercolor. You have to use some gouache maybe, or make your own gouache by using white to get your lights back. Because sometimes you ruin the lights on the paper of the white. I've heard people even bleach their paper in little spots so that it keeps it back white to white of the paper and bleaches the color. I wouldn't suggest that. I'd rather just use white paint and put that back in there. Again, don't do it for societies like watercolor societies that don't allow opaques, like Transparent Watercolor Society. Don't enter something like this into that because that's not, the rules are no white. But on this one, to make something better than it was, and here, look at this in the very beginning when I actually did without, I put white in there to get that look of lightness. And that was, I didn't even ruin it. I just decided to use light white into wash so where I can see the pigment white. All right, so there's your fact right there. You can fix your watercolors. And I can fix this whole watercolor. I can change everything. I can change it, make it a night scene. And so it's just that this paper, these watercolor papers, the cotton papers especially, are very expensive, and there's a good reason for that because they're tough and they're cotton, and so it will take a little bit of a beating. Like again, don't scrub it. Scrubbing will definitely wreck the paper, but you can go right on top, and they're the good paper. This is a 140 pound. I'm doing this on 140. 300 pound is like 3 times the thickness of 140, and so it'll work really good on that, and won't bleed at all or buckle at all. All right, fix your watercolors. Yes, you can. Tell anybody who thinks that they can't that you can. And don't try not to be scared of watercolor. Too many people are scared of thinking that it's too hard. It's not that hard. You saw, when you want a soft edge or a hard edge, that we can just learn pretty simply. And then we'll start learning that from the very beginning in the new year. In 2026, we're going to be starting from the beginning and teaching you how to do one color and work your way up to a full color. And then we're going to teach you how to work wet into wet. Because if you don't know that, then it's going to be tough to keep on going. So we're going to teach you how to do wet into wet, like I did the sky. And look at that. Isn't that amazing that you can? Totally didn't wreck the painting at all. And so don't be scared. All right. Thanks a lot. And we'll see you in the next Thursday when we do our paint along. This coming Thursday. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.